Hello YouTube, and welcome to the Ascetic Aquarist. Today we're going to be talking about peat puffers. You've already met Munch, so you can see that these fish are very interesting and they have a lot of personality. Munch is my only female, but she's going to introduce us to the rest of the guys. First up's Miniwheat, and he's not very shy, but he does like to just kind of sit in that little dark spot all day and look out at everything going on around his tank and not really move unless there's food. Ren's a little cautious and alert. He kind of reacts to you when you come up to the tank a little more. And Rodney here is the shyest peat puffer I own. So that's an idea of the personality spectrum, so to speak, that you'll be dealing with if you keep these fish. I think that's an important thing to know when you're first buying a fish, because you can't know how a fish is supposed to act if you've never kept it before. So it's normal for a peat puffer to maybe be a little reclusive sometimes and kind of hide from you. And if they're like that, I would suggest setting them up in a low light tank with low flow and lots of hiding spots. If they're not, you could do something like this and, interact with them a little. I do weekly water changes on these tanks, and I feed the puffers live snails, blackworms, or frozen bloodworms daily. A lot of that info, including specific tank parameters, is going to be at the bottom of the screen because there's just so much to talk about here. Mainly because these fish are so interactive and they're just like little water dogs, as you can see, but also because there's a lot of misinformation out there, like that they need to file down their beaks when you can watch Munch here eat the snail right out of the shell and not even bother the shell afterwards. There's a surprising amount of information out there about keeping these guys in groups, but there's a surprising lack of information about your responsibilities if your group doesn't work out. I bought 4 of these guys from the local fish store, intending to keep them in the same tank. And when they sexed out, I had 3 males and 1 female, and now I have to keep them all in separate or divided enclosures for the remainder of their potential 5-year lifespan. I considered that when I did this, so I'm ready for that, and I like peat puffers. I like keeping them all in separate tanks. In fact, I suggest it because, as you can see, Munch is playing with me here and really interacting with me. You wouldn't get that if you kept them all in a group. You get some real one-on-one interaction with your peat puffer there. And that's about it, guys. I hope between the text and the talking you learned something about keeping peat puffers in your aquarium. Maybe in the future we can do a more in-depth and longer video. But until then, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time, won't we, Munch?